So today we meet with a woman who has had a fantastic career, who has very, very kindly taken time out on this Friday evening at 7:30 after a manic week, whilst we're all ending our day and starting our weekend with a discussion that focuses on the importance of childcare support, equality for women, working in the arts, and of course, our shared love for our theatre careers. Amy BEADEL is the founder of Bea Co. Previously describing herself as someone comfortable in pushing her boundaries and working hard, Amy joins FREEBIRD to discuss our shared advocacy to push change for women in the arts and creative industries. Hello, Amy. Good evening.
Hi.
Thank you so much for taking time out of your busy schedule to talk to us this Friday evening.
Absolute pleasure.
So, Amy, you're obviously a woman who's had a fantastic career, from performing to being a renowned casting director, involved most recently with the incredible Dear Evan Hansen process, and most importantly, your incredibly successful company Bea Co. Where did the journey start for you?
So I guess I've always loved looking after children, and it's something I've done for years. And then when I was performing, which is sort of where I started looking after a little 5-month-old girl who now has 2 siblings and is 10, so it makes me feel really old. And actually she and her siblings were just bridesmaids at my wedding, so it was so lovely. So nice. But then I got a job in the West End. I went into Shrek in the West End, and was suddenly like, well, I can't look after this family anymore. However, I've got these amazing people around me who essentially, who I know, have the same creative skill set that I can recommend. And that's kind of where Bea Co started. And it's all about recommendations. So still to this day, everyone who works for us comes through recommendation. We've organically grown. Now we are at about 200 creatives. So we call them creatives that work for us.
Got it.
The reason we call them creatives is because everyone who works for us has a background in the creative industries. So, being a nanny or manny, I love to look at what they bring to it. They're all actors, dancers, directors, photographers. They've got these amazing skill sets. But what they have is they're also brilliant with children, because a lot of the things that particularly us in the creative industries take for granted is things like the imagination, which for a child is so stimulating.
Agreed.
Just take it as, you're just like, oh, it's just what I do as part of my job, and they're adults who know how to play. And I think, so we kind of see them as big brothers and sisters. So that's kind of where it started, and it just grew. And then we also have another arm of the company. So we have the sort of nannying side, but we also chaperone. So we look after kids in the theatre and on set. And it's amazing having that, being people who understand the industry, because actually they can help the kids and nurture them and teach them about the environment, which a lot of the time the directors don't have time to do. So that's kind of where we started. But I also saw, I guess I could see that childcare was outdated. Like, the office is no longer 9 to 5. Parents were going in for breakfast meetings. And things become very last minute because of technology. You can get hold of someone and say, well, hey, can you come to this meeting tonight? So what we offer is this flexibility, because people from the creative industries are so well known for just being able to go, yeah, that's fine, I can get there in an hour, no problem. So we sort of have this wonderful world where we understand, what childcare now needs. So on the casting side, it's about communication, but also from the Bea Co side, the amount of times, oh my gosh, we have our wonderful families, they'll phone up and say, in such a stress that they've got to be at a voiceover or recording in a couple of hours, help, like I need someone. So much of the time it's out of hours that they call us. And for me, I don't understand, of course sometimes it can't be helped, but how much is so last minute. And that's what I think we as an industry could do to help, is why is everything so last minute? And also these pencils, the blinking, I'm penciled for a job. We had a mum, bless her heart, she had to go abroad, she had a new baby, she was taking one of our nannies with her, but she didn't know till the day before if she was going or not. So even we're being penciled, they're going, well, is this happening? Isn't this happening? And of course, sometimes there are times that it is last minute, but I just think surely communication is key there. We've been known in our office to go, just bring the baby to us, it's fine, we'll have them. So I think that I find it really interesting. And also you know, I've had friends sort of from a very personal thing who are pregnant and who are scared to say, because they're like, oh, my career's over. I'm like, of course it's not over, but it's at times on pause.
Totally.
And
which is a huge thing. I think a lot of young women especially do face, you know, that moment of realizing you are pregnant and having to strike the balance of worrying about your career and also dealing with the huge life-changing fact that you're pregnant. It's really, really hard.
It's so I think, gosh, yes, we need to be doing so much more as an industry, but what is it? And I think that's key. And for me, it's all about communication.
So Bea Co have families of the creative industries at heart, which I've read from your website, but definitely don't mistake them for your average babysitting company, because with partners that you have, such as Playful Productions, HBO, Working Titles, One Fine Stay, Bea Co are, we think, a truly unique business, setting the standards and supporting families while they work in an industry that is awake all hours and 24/7, and also, more importantly, demands severe attention and rarely rests. Amy, we know that women's careers shouldn't end when they become pregnant. Unfortunately, there are still employers and companies out there that factor in our reproductive system when hiring and taking into consideration promotions. How important is it to you and to Bea Co that women continue their careers and progress post-birth whilst they have a family?
Oh, 100%. I mean, but obviously only if they want to. If they then if it's their choice that they want to stay at home, then absolutely, gosh, I fully support that, and I think they're amazing. But 100%. And I think we actually, one of our drives at Bea Co is we started working with businesses and helping them retain talent, because what was happening was they were finding a lot of their really real talent in the female department particularly, they were going off having babies, and then because it was so tricky for them to return, they just weren't, they were losing them. So we were working with a few companies on how they retain talent. Was that us providing childcare? Was that them offering more flexible working situations? Which, as an aside, obviously with COVID now, businesses have had to address that. But prior to that, a lot of businesses really weren't set up like that, you know. And I think why are businesses not saying, right, come and work 8 till 3, go and do the kids pick up, sign on remotely once the kids are in bed? Like, that's so doable. Some do that, and it's amazing, but a lot don't. And
so with the a lot don't. There's still this kind of 9 to 5 mentality, and you know, perhaps the current pandemic and the circumstances have changed that for the better.
And I think that's the thing with working from home. Businesses have now seen that, oh, it is possible. And that's what we thought, like, businesses, why can't they give, you know, work from home a couple of days a week? But it's so hard now with technology being 24/7. And, you know, but I think, oh my gosh, 100%, you know, there needs to be more done to retain this amazing talent and get women back if they want to be back in the workplace. And we need to be helping rather than making it a barrier. I remember speaking to someone recently who works in the theatre industry, and she said to me, as long as I'm not making a loss doing this job, paying for my childcare, then for my own sanity, I have to go back to work. Then you also go, that's insane. Like, why are companies not
break even, which doesn't make any sense?
Why are companies not giving employee benefits of, you know, a bit towards their childcare or things like that? I can never understand why.
No,
creative industries, actually, they do. I personally believe in the creative industries, the least is done to help with childcare, because you have, you know, these big companies, you look down at Canary Wharf, who have like on-site nurseries and things like that. But I think it's also to do because of the anti-social hours. So that's what we've looked at that many times, saying, well, you know, I mean, many times we've come and helped and picked up kids from the theatre and taken them home and things like that. But yeah, I think 100%.
Yeah. And lastly, to finish off, what's next for Bea Co?
So we've got lots in the pipeline actually that we've been working on, and it's been, in a way, the whole COVID situation has been a really good time to readdress what's going on and what families want, because that has changed a lot over a very short period of time. And so we've been working on, you know, we're in the development stage of lots of things, so we're keeping our cards close to our chest. But I think what I've been amazed at over this time is the sense of community that Bea Co has had. We've been checking in with our families, the kids, the creatives, just like, you know, are you okay? Like, reach out. Because actually, if you think of our creatives, they had their other world completely taken away from them overnight. And to actually go, you know, a lot of them move back home to parents and things like that. And it's been really hard. And so just knowing that we're all there for each other, it's been amazing to see that this community we have created really is a community. And I think anything that we are planning and stuff is all with that. It's that Bea Co has a heart, and that it's this community and nurturing that and encouraging that.
Completely. Well, listen, I cannot thank you enough for giving up your Friday evening to
Oh, my pleasure. I don't really do much on Fridays anymore, Millie. It's
staying in is the new going out. But listen, we're really, really grateful and very, very excited to see where Bea Co go. And I know FREEBIRD will definitely keep following, and we're huge supporters. So thank you for all of the amazing work you're doing.
And vice versa. I think your platform you're creating is amazing. So, you know, that's what we need to be doing, is championing females in the creative industry. Women. Yeah, I completely agree. So thank you.
Thank you so much.